All right, what's going on, YouTube? Man, I'm sitting here, man. I got my video on private. Man. I'm talking to myself, man. Mhm. Damn. I'm here talking to myself, man. Anyway, man, today's show, I want to go through the similarities between suicide cults and the Jehovah's Witnesses. Because the question's been asked: will there be a time in the future when Jehovah's Witnesses will perform a mass suicide? Me and my wife talked about this at different times. You know what I'm saying? Me and my wife talked about this at different times. Um, and we was pinpointing who we thought, and it's not right. Just stay with me. This is the mindset we had. We was pinpointing who we thought by their dedication to the society. We went through our congregation and said, yeah, that person seemed like if the society ever gave a command or a hinge word, these people would surely take their lives, no questions asked. And then we said some people would not, depending on their dedication. But I always wonder, you know what I'm saying? What would cause intellectual adults to not only join a cult, but willingly take their lives because some other human, some other mortal told them to do it? What would cause them to do that? And so I would have to go through the past and have to look at those who took their lives and try to come up with some kind of psychological analysis in the days prior to or while they were in that cult. What would they think? What was their mindset? You understand what I'm saying? What were their mindset? Now, before I go in, man, I want to define what a cult is, because I think a lot of us, we are missing the true definition of a cult. You see, I believe that during the 20th century, you had many different cults that came out that were sexually abusing others. You had ones that were having other people kill themselves. And so these actions tarnished the true definition of a cult. So what I'm going to do, hold on for a second. What I would do is I'm going to show the etymology of the word cult, because I'm really into the etymology of words. Sometimes we kind of skip that. You know what I'm saying? When we look at words, because sometimes words can have a double meaning. Sometimes definition between different words can kind of cross, and sometimes we put those two words together. Sometimes they don't really match or mate. You understand what I'm saying? So let me share my screen real quick, and I want to go through the etymology of the word cult, and it's something very interesting. I want to go through this article real quick. So here we go. Stay with me. Okay, this is from the New World Encyclopedia. Okay. It says a cult, strictly speaking, is a particular system of religious worship, especially with reference to its rites and ceremony. So, strictly speaking, a cult is a system of religious worship. Used in a more pejorative sense, cult refers to a cohesive social group, usually of a religious believers, within the surrounding societies considered outside the mainstream or possibly dangerous. Okay? Now, here's the part I want to get to that people sometimes overlook. Etymologically, the word cult comes from the root of the word culture, representing the core system of beliefs and activities at the basis of a culture. Thus, here's the main point I want to highlight, man. Thus, every human being belongs to a cult. All of you, me, you, atheists, everyone. Does not matter if you follow a man or not. You belong to a cult because you belong to a culture. Everyone belongs to a culture which is conveyed by the language they speak and the habits they form. So there it is, man. I mean, when people ask, is Jehovah's Witness a cult? Oh, most definitely, man. Jehovah's Witness are most definitely a cult. Everything or everyone belongs to a cult because that's another word for culture. Okay, but again, because of the negative images that different cults of the 20th century, particularly with those that started during the 60s and the 70s, they really tarnished that word. Okay, so hold on for 1 second. I'm doing this video, man. So I'm going to go through 4 cults that popped up during the 20th century that its members actually took their lives willingly or were coerced to do it, but for the most part, a lot of them took their lives willingly. And I want to compare the mindset or the culture to Jehovah's Witnesses. Because it's very interesting that once you get in these parallels, you see that there's a lot of similarities and parallel between the culture of Jehovah's Witnesses and the culture of these suicide cults. You see, there are many cults today. As I said, there are cults when you come to politics. There are cults when you come to certain movies. But every culture is different. But interestingly enough, the Jehovah's Witness cult is very similar to the cult that committed suicide in the past. All right. So the first one, the main one, the most famous one that people are mostly familiar with is Jonestown. Now we all know about Jonestown, right? 1978, about 918 people, um, either drunk or injected with cyanide infested Kool-Aid, and just died right there in that compound in South America, Guyana. That was very close to home because again, I'm from the Bay Area, and before they went to Guyana, they was actually in San Francisco. Jim Jones and all those people. The Bay Area was known for a lot of the hippie movement, things like that. A lot of stuff started in the original Bay Area, okay, and the hippie movement no different. The Black Panthers and all these things like that. All right. So this was very close to home. We heard a lot about that growing up. There was even a witness I knew. She said that she had a family member that died in that. Um, okay. And so I'm gonna share the screen again. I'm gonna go through Jonestown massacre. Um, I'll share my screen real quick. Hold on for a minute. I want you to pay attention to the culture of Jonestown. See, this is not compared to Jehovah's Witness culture because I get a sense that there may be a mass suicide in the future. It could possibly be, but in my heart of hearts, I hope and I pray that this has never happened. But I'm seeing a lot of similarities. You understand what I'm saying? All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen with you. All right. It's taken from the Rolling Stones. All right, hold on for a minute if I can get the screen back up. Again, it's doing the same thing again, man. Hold on for a minute. All right. Here we go, man. Okay, just a little thing. In 1955, Jim Jones found the People's Temple in Minneapolis. Hold on for a minute. Oh, come on, do this for me. All right. But I want to go through. It says 13 facts about Jonestown that we may or may not have known. Cruelty and madness were rooted in his childhood. Jones, a man who preached racial and social equality turned evil. All right. And sometimes we got to look at these religious leaders, man, these cult leaders, because a lot of people don't pay attention. They so hypnotized by this man's charisma That a lot of times you don't realize that a person has a lot of um, darkness from their past, and this affects them growing up. Whether they were bullied, whether they were involved in sexual harassment, or someone sexually violated them as a child. As they grow up, this stuff stays with them, man. And you have a desire as a natural human being. When you were violated as a child, as an adult, you try to recreate scenarios from your childhood to correct it. You try to surround yourself with people who remind you of the person who victimized you, so you do a whole nother scene. Sometimes you gotta look at these cultic leaders at their past. All right, because every cult is going to every cult is going to what do you call that? It's going to personify the how you say this? I'm trying to say every cult. The cult is going to be influenced by the character of the leader. You understand what I'm saying? So if the leader is a narcissist, the culture of that cult is going to be a narcissistic cult. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. Next part. Go a little faster, man. Come on, go a little faster. Okay. Jones moved his church to California because he feared nuclear. This is the part I want to focus in on, folks. Because the similarity between all the suicide cults I'm going to discuss tonight is their fear of an end time catastrophe. This is the glue that ties all these suicide cults together. This is the thing that attracts everyone to cults. Pretty much keep them there. And Jim Jones was no different. He feared nuclear war. Don't Jehovah's Witnesses fear Armageddon? Don't his members fear and talk about Armageddon so much? You see, you got to wonder why people, as I said before, I'm going to keep asking this question through the whole time because I like to get to the mindset of individuals as to how you can coerce individuals. Not dumb, not retarded, not mentally handicapped, but intelligent, well-meaning individuals into an act of taking their own life. And a lot of it has to do with the end times and a leader pushing this fear of the end times. You understand what I'm saying? Next one. The People's Temple members were a racially mixed family dedicated to improving the world. Another thing. Living during that segregated era that he lived in, it wasn't segregated at say the 40s, but living during that segregated time. Okay. If I were to go to a Jim Jones meeting and I see blacks and whites coming together, this is going to make an impression on me. You understand what I'm saying? As I said before in my story last week, what impressed me a lot about the Kingdom Hall was that unlike the other churches I went to that were segregated, I seen different races. This impressed me. There's something different about this. You see what I'm saying? And in the person's mind, when there's something different in the world, your mind becomes curious as to there's something in this that's causing it to be different. And if it's causing people to get along, there's something in this can influence me. You see what I'm saying? When I was a Jehovah's Witness, a lot of times people went to the hall with me because they seen my change in my personality. They seen changes. They seen dedication. They seen discipline in me, and they associated that with the group I went to. So the fact that the People's Temple were racially mixed, something different from what was going on at that time, just impressed people. And these are building blocks to keeping a person within this code. You understand what I'm saying? These are building blocks. I'm trying to get into the mindset. If I were a Jones Temple member back in the day, would have took my life. What went through those people's mind during that time? See if I can get some more of these slides now. Okay. What is this? Okay. Sound like pausing this long, man, but my doggone computer is doing this again, man. Okay. Winnie, man, we know the whole thing. Let me take this off real quick. Let me go and take this off. Okay, let me take this off real quick. All right, and so I'm back. I want to write because this happened before I was born, so I wasn't in the midst of it, but I heard a lot about it because, again, from the Bay Area, it was very close to home to hear people close to you that eventually took their lives. You understand what I'm saying? If you imagine that there was some big religious movement going on out in your city, and 3 months later you hear that religious movement moved down to South America and killed themselves, this would be a big thing, man. Okay, so I heard about him growing up. Okay, took a couple of notes, man, because I can't get that website. It's going too slow. Anyway, let me take this down real quick. Okay. And one thing, Jim Jones, the way he could, because as he went down to South America, as we know, they built that compound down there in Guyana, right? Again, it's free labor. The materials cost them money, but it's free labor because all the people down there work together as a community, where everybody working together to build that community down there within the jungles, right? How do you get the money to build those materials and all those bulldozers and everything else? Well, he coerced or brainwashed the members to turn over their material possessions, allowing them to turn over their social security checks to this man. I'm going to get into that in a minute as to what moves a person to stay within something that they know is abusive. This goes to relationship and religion, anything else. I'm going to tie that in later on to how someone can coerce you to give up things. You see what I'm saying? It say he convinced them that if they left the group, they were rounded up into government concentration camps. And when I read that, first thing I thought about Joe Winnis is the past couple of conventions, right? The videos at the end of that convention is pretty much the same thing Jim Jones ran on these people. The fear mongering that outside of this camp, there's danger. There's nowhere else for you to go. They had armed guards around the whole compound. But the funny thing is, the survivor said the guards were not pointing the guns away, they were pointing them in. But the propaganda was so strong that, oh my God, if we leave, we're going to be rounded up into concentration camps. There were no TVs or anything else they could see what's going on in America. All they know is what Jim Jones was telling them. And you had the Vietnam War going on this time. You have different war and different conflicts going on at this time. What were the members to think? Oh my God, the government's coming for us. The government is coming for us. What has Joe Winnis been doing these last two conventions, man? You got a whole doggone video of people in the doggone bunker and soldiers coming and rounding them up. Then the next year, they out in the field, soldiers coming out, surrounding them. And so I'm wondering, is the governing body taking notes or from the handbook of Jim Jones? Because what are they doing? What are they doing? Jim Jones said they said they encouraged the members telling each other. They said members signed false testimonies that they molested children, which was essentially blackmail. Yeah, I did a little research on this individual. I watched a documentary. I watched a little documentary on Jonestown. And yes, he had the members sign fake testimonials that we molested or sexually abused children. And I will use this against you guys if you ever leave. There has to be some type of emotional, mental blackmail that keeps these people in. But going back to them giving their resources to Jim Jones. See, one act of psychology getting a person is that the more you give to something, the more you sacrifice to something, the less you have to lose in life. So if I'm giving my all to this organization, my whole time and all my money, and I left, I gave it all for nothing. You see what I'm saying? I see 9 people in the room. I don't see any comments on here. I don't know if you guys are commenting. I don't know. StreamYard's acting kind of funny, man. Yeah, StreamYard acting funny, man. I guess nobody's commenting. Anyway, if and this goes into relationship. You see, the more time a person puts into relationship, that's time that was spent. You can never get back. So it's harder to leave that relationship because you have given so much. And these religious leaders know that the more I can get from this person, the harder it will be to leave because they have given so much and it'll be all in vain. See, one thing Jehovah's Witnesses don't ask for when it comes to the thing, this one impressed me. They didn't have a collection. They didn't have a collection plate. They didn't beg for tithes or things like that in the sense of what the Protestants and everything else do. But they do demand your time. They demand everything from you, your life, your time, your energies. And so imagine you're in there for 50 years. Why would I leave now? I gave too much. It'll be all in vain, even if it's false. Even if I found out Jehovah's is false, I've given up too much now to leave. And that's what Jim Jones did. He had all those people turn in their Social Security checks, all their life insurance policies, everything. It's one thing he kept them in. But it still does not explain how they could kill themselves. That's one thing you give up that you would never get back is your life. I can give up $1 million. I can get that back if I'm ambitious. I'll give up my house. I can get that back if I'm ambitious. One thing I'll never get back is my life. How could some people value this man's word over their own life? When I watched the documentary on Jim Jones, one thing that's very interesting is that the first thing he had the parents do is take their children and kill their own children. First thing Jim Jones did on that white night, because they did what do you call this? They did practice sessions during the night of some kind of white noise or whatever they did every night, or he would wake them up and have them do practice suicide sessions, kind of normalizing their mind to this. And so when the real thing came up, he would have the parents pretty much inject their kids or force feed their kids Kool-Aid. You hear kids crying in the background because no kid's going to purposely kill themselves. And in his mind, I'll get them because once I take their kids from them, there's nothing else to live for. Killed your kids already. Go ahead, you guys can leave. But I killed my kids, man. What I have to live for outside this compound? I gave my life, I gave my money, and I gave my child to you. Nothing else to live for now, man. I guess we're gone. And what set it off is that congressman went down there trying to interviewing, and people start deflecting. This whole propaganda scheme was because of him getting shot. We did that. We did that, people. They're going to come after us. So if you do escape, if you do leave, you screwed. Now, after all that being said, I want to put into the mindset and the scope of Jehovah's Witness. Because in my mind, and I pray it's not true, if the governing body ever gave the mission or the the go-ahead, I believe that at least 50% of his members will really take their lives because they are doing the same thing at the Jonestown, the People's Temple. All those people did. They're giving their lives. They're giving their time. They believe the government's going to come after them. You understand what I'm saying? They believe that the government is persecuting the governing body in the society. Oh my God, they don't come get us with these. They finna round us up in the concentration camps. I've known this all. If I go into the world, oh my God, Satan's out there waiting for me. So just imagine if one day Joe Witness turned on CNN or Fox News and seen 8 governing body members handcuffed walking out to society. But before they do, they have the helpers of the governing body come on a JW broadcast. You see, brothers, now it's time. It's time to leave this world. The Great Tribulation has started. And it's time to leave this world. And again, you have to be at the Kingdom Horn to watch JW.org. Be right at home. I see 10 people in the room. I don't see any comments. Hold on for a minute. Let me see. See if I don't see any comment. I guess people watching, they so enthralled when I'm saying they're not saying anything. I don't know if anybody's comment. I would like to see somebody's comment. Let me see if it comes on. Okay. Get back into this in a minute, man. Hold on for a minute. It's not. I don't see any comments on here. Hold on for a minute. Okay. Okay, I'm seeing them on my phone. Why am I Hold on for a minute. Hey, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna come back in, man. I really want to read you guys' comments, man. I'm gonna go out and come right back in. Hopefully, my comments. Now I see them. All right, so let me get some of these comments, man. I'm gonna move on to my next suicide quote. All right, ugly watchtower, ugly watchtower. You so ugly. You so ugly. You're ugly. Hold on for a minute. They worship watchtower so much they shun their family members are locked in a headlock. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Locked in a headlock. Swindler, God bless you for helping wake people up. Yeah, I'm hoping to wake people up. But you know, the thing is, let me add some of these comments, man. Thing is, me truthfully, man, I believe that a person who actually coming to watch YouTube, they already waking up in the first place. I'm just, giving them a little nudge, anything else. But a person fully asleep, I don't think I'm gonna really wake anybody up, man. And that's not trying to be humble or anything. It's just, but thank you, though, Swindler, man. I appreciate that. All right. What's up, Jamal? You were right about the culture of the Watchtower. They would take anything you would give. Yes, indeed, man. And why would they do that? It's not just for the own thing, because I know that as an abusive, if I were an abusive husband, at a certain point, I know my wife is not going to leave me because she had given too much to me. You understand what I'm saying? People are not going to leave easily. The more you give, the harder it is to leave that thing. These people know that, man. These people know that. And so they demand as much as they can from you because that's going to be hard to leave. But again, I'm trying to get to what will make them kill themselves. Yep, fear tactic. Yep. I am him, not me. I am okay. I am him, not them. Okay. So there you go. Good job, man. There we go. So I now see the comments, man. I like to interact with people who's watching, man. I don't want to feel like I'm just talking at people. I like to interact, man. All right. So let me play this video real quick, man. I found this very interesting because Jim Jones' son, as we know, Jim Jones' son survived the whole ordeal because he was not at the compound when they killed themselves, right? They sent him away to play basketball. So he survived the whole thing. But in one documentary, he said, would I have killed myself if I was there? He said, maybe. And I want you guys to listen to why he said that. Listen to why this man said he would have killed himself. And tell me this don't mind you a Watchtower and your mindset when you was in there. This reminded me so much of my mindset when I was in Watchtower. Let me share this real quick, man. I'm gonna play it. I'll come right back. The hell, man? What the hell's going on, dude? Okay, hold on for a minute. Hold on for a minute. All right. Anyway, this thing cut me off and it came back in twice. All right, anyway, man, I want y'all to listen to Jim Jones' son, what he said as to why he would have killed himself if he was there. Jim Jones' son is still alive. I don't know if he's still alive today, but he did not kill himself in that time. But when he did an interview, he said he might have, and something that would have do it. So let me show this real quick. Let me share my screen real quick. Hopefully, we can hear this volume. All right. I had it set up right here. Hey, tell me, can you guys hear this? I'm gonna play it real quick. Tell me if you can hear this. Anybody in the room? Tell me you can hear the volume.
In 1977, evangelical
Can y'all hear that volume?
Jones fled the United States with nearly 1,000 followers of his People's Temple cult.
Can you hear the volume of the video?
Well, how about you? Is it the best thing ever happened to you?
Deep in the South American jungle, they built a new community and called it Jonestown.
I hope y'all can hear that, man. But anyway, I'm just turning to I'm gonna turn it to the part where his son is talking.
Of the whole spectrum of humanity. It was a dream that died on November 18th, 1978.
Malnourished, exhausted, wanted to get out of it. Where were they going to go at that point? How are they going to get out of it?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
No, no, no.
Dearest person on the planet to me, which was my mother. My father. Well, I can tell you I've never grieved his death. I remember feeling disgust that he didn't go the way everybody else went. Not only did he have to be shot in the head, but he had to have somebody else do it. And I still believe it was because he couldn't bear to go out the way he was seeing other people go out.
One of Jonestown was that it was a map fact, it was a mass murder. It happened because Jim Jones didn't want word to get out to the outside world what was going on inside his community.
To me, or how I was perceived by the people of my. There were a lot of reasons I think that people ended up taking the poison. I don't know who took it, injected. I think more than anything, it was out of loyalty to everybody else there. In my case, if I had been there, strong will live. But I think that it was so important to me, or how I was perceived by the people of my community was so important to me, that it might have needed my death.
The loss of my son has been the most difficult thing in my life.
So, you guys heard that? Yeah, let me get back to myself, man. You guys heard that? This man said that he had a will to live, but it was loyalty and how others would have viewed him that would have made him take his life. And this is all the mentality of the Watchtower. They ingrain in us a big concern how we are viewed by the cult, by the whole organization. That you don't want to let your brothers down. You want to bring reproach upon us. So you're doing things not because you believe it's right or wrong, but because you feel that you don't want to go against the grain. You see what I'm saying? And I believe that's why a lot of them took their lives. That if I refuse this, what are these people going to think about me? I'm being disloyal to not only my brothers and sisters, but I'm being disloyal to the Messiah, Jim Jones, and also the guy who appointed him, God. Okay, hold on for a minute. Be right back. Let me go out and come right back in. Okay. So now I can see more of your comments now. Okay. For this. Oh, what did he say? It said it took 18 months to help my neighbor out of Watchtower. She was in 35 years. Yeah. It takes persistence, Take a lot of persistence. And that's good, man. She's out, you know. Cause I mean, if she's 35 and she got out when she was what, 53? And see that's a very commendable thing, because a lot of time when you're that old, it's like, what am I going to? I can't function. I've been in this too long. It's like being in prison and getting out. You go into society, it's like, man, this is not the same world I went into prison and I came out. So a lot of time they do stuff to get back right back in. Blah blah said great, because once you get in and go to sleep, it's hard to wake up. But they would some up with their bad treatment. Yes. I would say the elders one woke me up, man. I woke up because of the elders, man. I gotta thank the elders, man. They woke me up, man. It wasn't so much as the hypocrisy that kind of nudged me, and some of the teachers, the elders really woke me up, man, because these are people we look up to. Okay. So yeah, again, that's one thing, man. When I watched that whole documentary, I seen, man, this dude summed it up real nicely. Why would adults take their lives? Because for one, you don't want to disappoint or prove your disloyalty to people you've known. The only people you're so close to, I can't prove my disloyalty to. This thing about cults and cultures, man, it's about staying loyal, staying true to the thing, man. Staying loyal and true to the organization, to the community. You know what I'm saying? All right. The next one is the heaven gates, man. I'm gonna see if I can scare. If it just, I'm not gonna share. I'm just gonna read them off. But I'm gonna share this real quick, man. It's another thing that killed themselves. You guys know the heaven's gate, right? Okay. Shit. Slow, man. All right. Let me go ahead and read this real quick. Now get into this. Um, a lot of us remember this also, and I'm not going to put the French Davidians on here because, truly, in my heart, I believe the ATF and the FBI killed those people with them. There, it ignited. So I don't believe that was a mass suicide. I believe the government did that to get those people out, but a lot of people stayed in for whatever reason. So I'm not going to include them here, but I will include the Heaven's Gate code. We know this. We know this one, man. This happened during my day in the '90s. But again, I'm going to draw it back in Watchtower Society. The mindset of the members of the Heaven Gate shares the same mindset as the Watchtower Society. You can go down, man. Come on off of here, baby. Come on off down. And as you can see, Stephen Lett is about to come on the screen. Come on up, baby. Come on. Oh, shit. Come on. All right. Slow me down. Okay. Come on, man. See, once I said Stephen Lett, man, he messed my whole computer up. Stephen Lett messed my whole thing up, man. Okay, here we go. Let me read this real quick. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I just want to scan through it. I'm trying to analyze the mindset, man. I'm just trying to possess, to take his life at the words of another mortal human being. Joe wanted to do the same thing. Which Joe, the government body called him to do it. Is when I'm trying to this thing. Come on, man. All right. Yeah, we're having technical difficulties, man. Hopefully, and get down there. Let peeking at me over the thing, man. I'm trying to come on, Stephen. Like, come All right, I'm back, man. That's crazy, man. I got that old god dog, man. I got that shit. Kind of yeah. This wireless ain't no good, man. Okay. Well, anyway, you know about the Heaven's Gate, right? I just read the notes I kept because I tried to get the website, but it's not. Every time I try to share my screen, it keeps freezing, so I'm not going to do that. Okay. So anyway, Heaven's Gate persuaded members to abandon family and possession. There you go again. Let me take this off real quick. I don't know why it's still on here. Let me take this off. Okay. So the Heaven's Gate persuaded members to abandon families and possession. Now, again, here's another tactic that another suicidal use. Give up something to become part of this. Give up something to become part of this. Because if you give up, the more you give up some, remember, this is psychological warfare they play on these people's mind. Give up something. The more you give up, the less inclined the person will be to leave, or the harder be to leave because they gave up something. You understand what I'm saying? What makes something valuable is how much you're willing to give to it. Okay. And again, what happened is that this Applewhite supposedly seen something on the back of a Haley Bob comet, and he promised that a spaceship would take his members to the kingdom of God. They say each of the courts had $5.75 in the pocket and a matching arm patch. Him and Bo went on a cross-country missionary tour in a stolen rental car. But again, I want you to understand the mindset of these individuals. What was the mindset of these individuals that went into the Heaven's Gate community? Oh my God, the end of the world is coming. The end of the world. The end of the world is coming. This comet passed by so close to the earth we can see with our naked eye. The world is about to end. And we as Jehovah's Witnesses know that mentality, man. We know that mentality. The world's going to end. It can end any day. I need to be on my best behavior because when it does, what I'm going to be caught doing. So this will induce a person that the only way to survive is to be with this group. That's the only way to survive. And this is what cults do, right? This is what Jehovah's Witnesses does. The only way to survive the end of the world, you got to be part of us, the spiritual ark. And so again, will Jehovah's Witnesses commit a mass suicide if the government body told them? I believe so, because they have the same mindset. They're geared in the same direction as the previous two I just went over, man. Similarities. Give up as much as you can to this organization, your time, your money, your family. The end of the world is coming, and the only way to survive is to be part of us. And you have a recipe for individuals following you wherever you go, even into the grave. The end of the world is coming. There was a spaceship behind the Haley Bob Comet come pick us up. The only way to go to the spaceship, you have to die. And again, somebody said your critical thinking. Let me read this comment. They keep you busy, therefore your brain is dead. Critical thinking is a sin, and Jehovah's Witnesses. Yes, critical thinking. If I was thinking critically, why do I have to die to get on a physical spaceship? Why do I have to become a spirit to get on a physical spaceship? You see what I'm saying? So yes, erase all the critical thinking. I can't see you guys' comments, man. Hold on for a minute. Let me Okay. Yeah, so I was supposed to have a collaborator today with Leona Banks, but something came up. So hopefully we'll be getting together pretty soon. Um, yeah, you're right, man. Stephen Lett, man. Once I showed his twin, my whole computer came crashing down, man. Stephen Lett put a whole virus malware on my computer. I took that full picture off immediately. You know what I'm saying? That was some creepy stuff, wasn't it? Them dude's eyes came up. I tried to put that dude on my picture, my computer crashed. That's creepy, man. I took that off real fast. Okay. Southern Boss Lady says, Paradise is their selling tactic. They have you give up everything in order to work for your prize. Remember, keep your eyes on the prize. Yes, indeed. Paradise. You know what I'm saying? You gotta dangle something in front of people's face, man, to give up stuff, man. You ain't gonna give up nothing for nothing. You gotta dangle something. And it's always in the future. You have to die to get there, man. You have to die to get there. You have to go through something to get there. In Job's case, you gotta go through the great tribulation to get rewarded. You gotta get your doggone head blew off by the government to be blessed by God. I don't remember, truthfully, did Noah have to go through great tribulation to get through, or did he get through safely on the boat? I don't know. All right. Let me see if I can share the screen one more time, man. I'm gonna share it one more time, man. Order of the Solar Temple. Anybody remember Order of the Solar Temple? 1994, those people killed themselves. Anybody remember that? I don't think nobody remember that, man. I don't think nobody remember that. I don't think nobody remember that. Okay. Let me try this again, man. I think when I share my screen, it keeps freezing. So I think I might not be able to share my screen no more. I think when I share my screen, it keeps freezing. So I think I might. Man, okay. I wish I could have shared it, man. Wish I could have shared my screen, but it looks like I can't share it. This now. All right. The Order of the Solar Temple, the suicide cult that shook the world. All right. The Order of the Solar Temple, suicide cult that shook the world. All right. Founded by Luke Jurett and Joseph D. Membro. These two were supposed to be reincarnated members of the Knights Templar. That's what they told their members. So basically, what happened was, let me see if I can get to the nitty gritty of this real quick. Okay. Basically, what happened is a member deflected, right? Member deflected and started to go tell the authorities about the abuse that was going on within the cult, right? Because they would do like rituals where the leader would have sex with a woman before they did their black mass or whatever they did. And so he deflected, and eventually they found him and his wife and his child dead in their house. Okay. Um, the cult primarily had three aims: the correct idea associated with power and authority, to arrange for Christ's second coming as the solar king and God, to await the merging of Islam and all Christian cults. Okay. And again, I'm trying to compare the mindset or the culture of Jehovah's Witness with the suicide cults of the past. The members of the Order of Solar Temple started noticing every during 1990s and began to become incessantly. Soon it became known to the ritual. Jurett would initiate sexual encounters with any one of the women members of the cult and claimed that such sexual encounters were required for performing the ceremonies. I don't know about you, and this might be a little too TMI, But any sexual I get, I'm ready to go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? You strength, man, shut. Anyway, never mind. I shouldn't have said that. All right. The dude several marriage affairs. Oh my God. I shouldn't have said that. Okay. Well, anyway, his whole thing, I'm getting sex, I'm getting energy. And again, just him? Just him, right? Okay. Um, so here's the point. This is the start of it all. The Detroit family became a target of the betrayal war. So basically, a family went and told the authorities. Okay. As a result, for vengeance, Mambro declared Tony's son Emmanuel at the time Christ. That's crazy. You understand what I'm saying right there? This man's son, because this man deflected, they called that man's son the Antichrist. On October 4th, 1994, a member gave orders to two of the cult members to execute the killing of Tony and his family, including his wife and the infant son. Tony Detroit was stabbed to death with repeated strikes of 50 in number. His wife, Nikki, stabbed repeatedly 8 times, and his baby son, Emmanuel, stabbed to death with 6 repeated strikes. All because this man deflected. And so they didn't call this man an apostate. They called his son an antichrist. Doesn't Jehovah's Witnesses do that same thing though? We leave. Oh, it's not because of the coast, but we leave because some of the devil or something, right? Mass suicide, mass murder. Approximately within a span of 12 hours since the murder of Tony Detroit and his family, a lodge in Switzerland was reported to be on fire. On entering the building, what the firemen witnessed shook in dramatic arrangement featuring walls of mirror and curtains. A total number of 22 corpses was displayed on the floor, forming a pattern of the shape of the sun. Among the 22 corpses, 9 were of men, 12 were of women, and the last one, that of a boy of 12 years old. So after they killed this man, 22 people killed themselves, and they formed themselves in the sun. Most of the corpses were discovered wearing the ritualistic robes of the cult. As reported, 19 of the total corpses were shot in the head, among which some were wrapped in plastic bags with hoods. In the next few hours, another farmhouse was known to belong to the order of fire, and when the firefighters reached the spot, a total of 25 corpses were found, all of whom were reported to have died from drugs. Among the 25 corpses, 5 were children. Among them were found the dead bodies of the two leaders, Joseph and Luke, with the two members who had murdered Tony on the property. A tape was discovered that revealed the following conversation between the two leaders. Okay, and then I think the next day, a year later, a third mass suicide reported in France. Okay, what am I saying with this, man? What am I bringing this up for? Because if you think that a mass suicide has to take place within a compound, you understand that this order of the solar temple happened um, miles away from each other, meaning that these people weren't synced up. You see what I'm saying? So again, as I said before, man, the Jehovah's don't have to be at the Kingdom Hall to do a mass suicide. They can get it from the JW broadcast. But again, do people understand that there's a mindset within Jehovah's Witness that I'm seeing similar to these suicide codes? The people of Solar Temple, they went and killed the deflectors. How much you want to believe that if they gave the orders, Jehovah's Witnesses, they gave the orders that former members would be targets of current members? You believe that? So again, you don't have to be on a compound to feel that, oh, they're not going to do it because every Joe went on a compound. Well, all those Solar Temple members were not on the compound. A lot were in their own farmhouses miles away in different countries, but they still did it because they were all in sync with each other. And again, the fact that they were waiting for the end to come. And once the government closes in on these cults, the leaders can't go down on their own. No. They don't want their members to see them defeated. So no, I die, you die. Let me leave and come back in. I can't see you guys' comments, man. I don't know if you guys are commenting, but I like to interact. And I got one more to do, and we'll be done, man. Okay. Let me read some of you guys. Those songs are still in my head. Yes, indeed, man. Those songs, man, they still in your head. And then it's like I don't know something about lady, but when you hear them, like sometimes I'm like, sometimes you'll hear them and it brings an emotional feeling within you. You have something, it's like an emotion. Something goes in you. It's a feeling of depression when you hear those songs. Those songs have some type of black magic on them. So I don't know what it is, man. Okay. Blah blah said, I don't think so because I can still hear them some regular music. He said I still catch myself humming some of those songs. Oh man, you be humming them God dog, man. You listen to them? What's that song? Bravely Press song? I can't think of. I can't remember none of the song, man. But damn, you still whistling, man. Hey, you didn't go to rehab or something. You didn't go to Kingdom Melodies Anonymous or something, man. Oh man, what's this say? As has said before, it's amazing what the human mind can withstand and survive. Yes, man, the mind is a very amazing thing, but once it's been corrupted and invaded, a lot of times there's no turning back, man. Once you get into a person's mind, you can get them to do anything, man. Anything. It's amazing how the mind works, man. You know, I can abuse you, I can beat you to submission, or I can get into your mind. I think getting into a person's mind is much more powerful and much more influential than somebody inflicting you with pain. Kind of like Stockholm syndrome, you know, like a girl be kidnapped and turned into a sex slave. The man who kidnaps her brainwashes her, and she gets rescued, but then she runs right back into the kidnapper's hand. Yeah, the mind is a very, very dynamic, very, very complex, man, and these cults know that. They know if we get your mind, the mind of the members, we can get them to do anything, even kill themselves, man. All right. And I thank you guys for hanging out with me, man. An hour. I think I'll go like 30. I keep saying it. Probably like 30 more minutes, man. As long as this takes. I'm gonna go through one more, man. I think I'll do one more. One more suicide code. As I'm going through these, man, it's not just to relive or try to bring something sad. I'm just trying to show that when I look at Jehovah's Witness culture, me being part of it, I see a lot of parallels to the Jehovah's Witness culture and these other suicide cults, man. And it scares me. I have no family in there, but it just scares me that what's going on right now with the government coming down on them, these uh these assemblies where they're brainwashing people to think that the government is going to come after them. They're going to spend all these resources coming after a little cult in America throughout the world. Um, it's crazy, man. But anyway, man, last one I want to show. Last one I want to show. And a lot of people don't notice it, but it's happened over there close to happened close to Africa. Mm. See if I can't share this real quick. Should be coming on. Give me a second, man. Should be coming on right now. All right, go. Let me put the screen big. Cause I know a lot of you guys don't even remember this, man. And a lot of stuff I'm saying, I bet you guys don't even know anything about this that happened in the year. So a lot of times we just focus on Jim Jones and think that's the only suicide cult, but no, this me going way back in the day, even 2000, man, just what, 19 years ago. Yeah, man, this happened in Africa. It's the mass murder suicide of an African 10 Commandments code 88 lives. Okay, hope we can see that, man. Okay, says most people have at least a passing familiarity with the Jonestown massacre. Remember the that made? Oh, come on, man. Okay, shit. Okay, okay. But few with. Oh man, what is this doing? Okay, here we go. But remarkably similar 14 years ago today. This was written in 2014. Okay, in the continent Uganda, close to 800 people perished and maybe more. Some 530 of them in a locked church blaze. The rest was stabbed, strangled, beaten, and very likely. The carnage was the handiwork of an all state cult, and there we go again, cult. That's the church. For itself, the mission, the Ten Commandments are teeth. Close to 800 had either killed themselves willingly or murdered someone else in the name of this cult. Similar to Jim Jones, this happened in 2000, and a lot of us don't even know it happened so we realize. Okay. Let me see if I can read a little more of this, and I'll turn this off. I will turn this off. Okay. So here we go. Followers dedicated to the Decalogue on the commandments was so strong that the group uh, okay. Man. Let me read this first paragraph. I think this would be it right here. Read this real quick. I'm trying to get into the mindset again. Okay. The emphasis on the commandment was so strong, discouraged talking for fear of breaking the ninth commandment. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Union was only conducted in sign language. Not content with life on earth in existence, TC regarded as inherently sinful, the group soon adopted an end time. Its leaders, God would destroy the world on the first day of the year 2000. Even said he would travel to Europe to commission a giant ark, just like Noah purchased. Okay. So didn't come on January 1st, actually, a lot of people killed themselves. A lot of people killed themselves. Anybody the similarity? I'm gonna turn it. Do we see the similarities between these suicide cults that I've been discussing and Jehovah's Witness? All of them focused on the end. All of them was focused on the end. Meaning they all had a fear of the end and that the only way to survive was through them. That screams Jehovah's Witness so much. All of them wanted you to give up your resources to them. Jehovah's Witness is the same thing, man. Your time. You give your insurance policy, give your kids up, your family. And so, do I believe that Jehovah's Witness will kill himself in the near future? That remains to be seen. But again, as Jim Jones says, those who ignore history are doomed to repeat it. And if we ignore what happened in the past and we see the signs in this organization, I pray that it does not happen, but we see the signs that Jehovah's Witnesses are being prosecuted in every country. And out of the prosecution, they're not going to tell the witnesses why they're being prosecuted. They're just going to present this whole thing that we're being persecuted. And oh my God, the government is coming in on us. And they're going to round you guys up. They're going to blow these Kingdom Hall doors down through the meeting, round us up, try to interrogate us because oh my God, they want information on other members. You, as a witness, you could be personally responsible for the death of your dear brothers and sisters. They don't need to know this information. Don't tell them. Risk your life for us. And again, that's all I have, man, for this one, man. I stayed kind of short on this one, hour 14, man. I think I'm going to end it, man. Again, I want to thank you guys so much, man. But if you can, man, try to wake as many witnesses as you can up, man. Going back to the Jim Jones thing, a lot of individuals tried to get their family out. But the family was so loyal to Jim Jones and the community that they did not listen. They stayed. They felt that this man was somebody from the devil. Whatever we got to do, man, to get them out. Because something's going to happen. It might not be a mass suicide. It might not be a murder, but the temperature is pretty much set, man. America and all the world is pretty much coming down on this organization for the child pedophilia that's keeping. You know what I'm saying? And as we seen when the authorities were closing in on these leaders, that's when they came after the members and got them to do something that they later could not take back. You know, most of those members are dead. They don't even know what's going on now. They're dead. Those who were looking for the doggone spaceship to rescue them from the Heaven's Gate. It was not a spaceship. They died. They killed themselves. Those who were looking for Noah's Ark and all these, they died and killed themselves. They're not going to ever see it. They're not going to come back and see it. They lived their lives to the will of another individual. It was cut short. A lot of them killed their kids. They didn't get to be grandkids. They didn't get to have grandkids. The kids didn't get to grow old, anything like that. You understand what I'm saying? And this is why we go against the organization, because things like this, and not just Jehovah's Witnesses, believe me, it's not just them. But a lot of these things are the will of another individual. And you only have one life, man. This is the only life we have. The only life we have. And you are going to use it not for your will, because we're supposed to have free will as an individual, but you're not going to use this life you have to fulfill your will. You're going to use it to fulfill another individual's will. And when that individual feel that the game is over, he said it's time up for you. These people could have been, Jim Jones could have been in their 90s today. I mean, they might not have been that long, but say they did. They could have been in the 90s today. They could have had children, grandchildren. But they won't. Because they were brainwashed. Let me try this. Let me try to share this last screen, man. This is the last one I promised to you. I found something very interesting on this, man. Because your winners do by far do commit suicides today. They might not be mad, but they do. Comes down to the blood transfusion. Now, if you think Joe Witness will not commit mass, ask yourself, what possessed on the hospital table and just sit there and die and refuse to take in? So if they'll do that and do that to their own children, what do you make you think there will not be a mass suicide within Joe Witness? I'm gonna show this real quick, man. I found this is very new information for me. I don't know how much is true. Now I still study with my kids, man. Okay. I still study with we study things about science. This right here is a scientific journal that they keep online. Okay, and I'll share the link in the description. Hold on for a minute. I'm gonna share the link in the comments. I'll share the link for you guys and where it's from, so you guys can see it yourself. Okay, let me see if okay. Now I'm gonna share the screen real quick with you guys, man. I want you to see some of the statistics about blood transfusion. I know if it's real or not, but I'm gonna show you the statistics about blood transfusion. I'll share the link in the comments. Okay, but I want to show you guys something. This is taken from a scientific journal. So again, this is from some doctors and things like that. Just don't think this is something that some person just made a blog. No, this is actually scientific journal. I actually share this website with my kids when we talk about different things, cancer and different things. All right, scientists will make notes on different discovery and how things work. All right, so let me show this with you out. It's very interesting what they said. And I think I know what it is what's on my computer now. I think I need a external hard disk drive. My what do you call that what do you call that memory where you need it's like a temporary memory that's getting full. So I need a hard external hard disk drive. I would get when I think my computer go faster. But anyway, let me pull this up. Okay. So we can see I'm gonna make the screen bigger, man. And again, I want to thank you guys all for staying with me, man, even through all this, man. I know it took a lot of patience and stuff like that, but anyway, man, let me get to this. And I don't know if you guys site, but they got so much information: asthma, cancer, diabetes. This website goes through all types of health issues and things like that. All right, but anyway, this is what it said about blood sugar. I want you to pay attention to this. Okay, they did a whole article on Joe Witness, mass, and I can't pronounce that, but this has to do with childbirth. All right, and the reproduction. Okay, because a lot of times during childbirth, blood does become an issue because a woman can bleed to death during childbirth. When my wife went to the hospital for our last daughter, they actually came in and said something about blood that um she be taking blood. I don't know if they seen somewhere she could have possibly had an issue with blood. At that time she didn't have a blood card, but thank God nothing went through. All right, but I want to go down, man, and again I'll share the link in here. I want you to look at what they said about this real quick. And this basically telling you what blood does when it goes in your body, how blood transfusion work. You check this website is very informative, man. Okay, let me see if I can find what they said. See if okay, okay, where was it at, man? Hold on for a minute. I know I had it on there. Hold on for 1 second. Let me see if I can find it because it's very interesting what they said about blood transfusion Joe Witness or as deaths. Cause shit, I can't find it, man. Okay. Well, anyway, man, if you guys check out the link, I'm going to share the link in the comments, and I'll put it in the description section because I can't find it, man. I don't want to read through the whole thing. Um, I'll put it in the comment section real quick. Hold on for a minute. Okay, here's the okay. Okay. If y'all go to that website right there, right? Let me stop sharing. Basically, what the website said is that I think since the incorporation of the blood ban, I think it said over 900 people have died a year from refusing blood transfusion. I don't know how they got that statistic. Okay, you guys can check that out. Check that website out, man. That's gonna stay on there if you want to click it. That's very disturbing. 900 per year die from refusing blood transfusion. Now I'm not sure how true that is. Okay. If there's only 300 something days a year, that means there's 3 people die a day from refusing blood transfusion. 3 people really sacrifice their lives in the name of a doctrine, in the name of a misinterpretation of a doctrine, in the name of a book that's written over 2,000 years ago that didn't have anything to do with a medical procedure, but more of a religious ritual, more of a sacrificing ritual. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Um, when the Bible talks about not eating blood, it talks about not eating fat also, but this is in the context of a sacrifice. And according to that website, at least almost 900 witnesses die a year from refusing blood. So the question has to be asked, if the governing body were to give the call for all witnesses to do a ritualistic mass suicide, would they do it? I believe so, man. I wish that day never comes, but I want to again thank you guys, man, for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, man. I was supposed to do a collaboration today with Leona Banks, but something came up, so we'll get together, man. We'll get her story in here, man. And again, I want to thank you guys for listening, man. Again, if you guys want to do a collaboration with me, share my email. Hit me up, man. We can do a collaboration. I like to get other people on here. But again, thank you guys so much for sharing, tuning in, man. Hope this information was helpful. Have y'all a good day, man. I'm out.